Zone.
We're back again.
This is the Fantasy Football Zone, your home
for everything fantasy football.
Hi and welcome to the Zone. This is the Zone. Sorry. I had lost my mic there just a bit. All right. Hi and welcome to the Zone. This is the Fantasy Football Zone, your home for everything.
Fantasy football.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. I'm happy that we are going to have football this coming weekend. Last weekend we had no football because of the international break.
Well, there was football, but then it wasn't the football that we usually perhaps watch. Of course, there was a lot of international football, but for most of us, it tends to be a bit boring, eh?
Yes. So I'm happy we are going to have the Premier League back this weekend.
Yeah, I think as Arsenal fans, we really enjoyed that break. It was very, very refreshing. For once, at least we went a whole week without losing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for making the time. For everyone also who's able to join us for this stream, thank you for making the time. So this is, of course, usually on Mondays we do the review show, but then we have nothing to review given that there was no game week over the weekend. Sorry. So we decided to take this opportunity to just look at some interesting talking points that are happening right now in the FPL world. And as you can see in the title, we've titled it Ronaldo-Lukaku-Kane. Basically, these three players are the players that everyone is trying to find a way to fit them into their team one way or another. And we decided to just do an episode where we can look at each player, what they offer as an FPL asset, and whether or not it's a good decision to go for any of them, right? So, Envy, I think we can jump right into it. So first of all, the transfer window finally closed. I think we were not able to react to that. And the announcement of Cristiano Ronaldo, I think, came with that last minutes of the transfer window, those last hours of the transfer window. You as a Chelsea fan especially, what do you think about Cristiano Ronaldo being in the Premier League again?
Well, I think first of all, Cristiano Ronaldo is not to be underrated whatsoever, and I think he's coming back to the Premier League is going to throw a lot of spanner into the works. Like a lot is expected to change. Cristiano Ronaldo is a world-class player, is an iconic player, and him coming back to the Premier League to face the likes of Lukaku, the likes of Kane, the likes of Fernandes and Salah, it is expected that there's going to be a lot of shifting, a lot of shifts, and things are going to turn around in a lot of things that are happening both in the Premier League and in the FPL world.
Do you think this automatically means Man United should be favorites for the league? Because Cristiano is literally the most lethal player ever to ever play the game. He has broken, I think, more than 7 or 8 records, goal scoring records. Everywhere he's gone, every pitch he's walked into, he's broken a record.
I think most definitely Man United are to be looked at with a second eye. I mean, the coming in of Cristiano Ronaldo might actually put these people as title contenders. Like, we cannot write that off. We cannot dare write that off, that Man United cannot contend for the title. So I think the likes of Chelsea, the likes of Man City, who are title defenders, need to check that Cristiano Ronaldo is now in the play. And they need to either, tighten the belts here and there, or, that title might actually go to Manchester United if we are not serious about some of these things. But yes, Man United need to be given a second eye. They can.
Okay. Exciting. So yes, we can just start by looking at Cristiano as an FPL option. So of course there was a lot of speculation about what price he would come in at. Some people were saying 13 million, but then finally we got to see right there, 12.5 million is his valuation. The most expensive player in FPL at this point in time.
Oh, okay. How much is Salah? Salah is around 12.3.
Salah is also 12.5 as well, actually.
Around that point.
Yeah. So the two of them tie being the most expensive players in FPL this season. So for 12.5 million, let's look at Cristiano Ronaldo as an FPL option. Of course, there's a conversation about whether he takes the penalties of Bruno Fernandes now that he's in. Do you think he automatically takes the penalties of Bruno Fernandes, or maybe they'll be sharing?
For me, I think if his name is a bit difficult for me to pronounce. I think he should leave the penalties to Bruno Fernandes. And I think I shared...
This is your opinion, yeah.
This is my opinion, that the penalties should remain with Bruno Fernandes. And probably give Ronaldo to take the what are they called again? The free kicks. Yes, I think Ronaldo has a high conversion rate of those free kicks and turning them into goals. So, but for me, I was going with the statistics of the conversion rate of Cristiano Ronaldo when it comes to penalties, and the conversion rate of Bruno Fernandes when it comes to penalties. Bruno Fernandes has a higher conversion rate, truthfully speaking, compared to Cristiano Ronaldo's conversion rate. And speaking to that, in the international break, we saw Cristiano Ronaldo miss a penalty. I mean, if we are just supposed to now start looking at it from that perspective, I think the penalties should remain with Bruno. That's just my opinion. Although there are conversations around, if Cristiano Ronaldo comes into Man United, he will definitely take off the penalties from Bruno Fernandes. He'll probably become a major set piece taker in the team. But I think it should not be a gospel truth that the way everyone is preaching it out here. I think there needs to be some thinking through before these decisions are made.
I don't know if you struggle to pronounce Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Was that what you stumbled to pronounce?
Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
You definitely bring up a very interesting point. That Bruno Fernandes is actually more accurate, if we can use that word, in penalties based on recent statistics. And we just saw that in the international break where Cristiano missed a penalty. But then, of course, he missed a penalty, but then went ahead to score 2 goals. 2 goals, But I don't know. I feel like it would be so interesting if Bruno kept the penalties. Because, of course, that way, I guess Ole Gunnar would be almost guaranteed that penalty is a goal. But then also, Ronaldo is more or less a fox in the box. He is going to score goals whether you give him penalties or not. That's actually a very interesting conversation. And we will discuss why it's an interesting conversation later, because at this point in time, perhaps some people are being forced to sacrifice one for the other.
Yeah.
But we look
Yeah.
at that later. We'll look at that a bit later. Okay.
Yeah.
So from a fixture perspective, of course, we're expecting Ronaldo to start the next game, which United will be facing off against Newcastle.
Yeah, I
And as you
heard
can
Ole
see in
Gunnar
the
saying, I
yeah,
think when after the confirmation of Cristiano Ronaldo coming to Man United, I think either this is a rumor or he actually said it, that you cannot buy Ronaldo and put him on the bench. So he has to start. He has to start the game.
for
He
sure, for
has to
sure.
start. Yes.
Yeah, so I was saying the fixtures. He's facing Newcastle at home at Old Trafford. Of course, this is
Yeah,
going to
during the
be
unveiling.
it's going to be a very emotional, fixture. Considering, Cristiano will be unveiled. It's his debut back home at the Old Trafford. Going to have a
It will
lot of
be a
emotions.
lot.
Yeah, it's going to have a lot of emotions. And then,
Yeah.
of course, the next two fixtures, he's facing off against West Ham in game week 5 away, and then Aston Villa in game week 6, again back at the Old Trafford at home. So just by those three fixtures, and we look at that first fixture, I think it's written in the stars that Cristiano is definitely bound to have a couple of goals, maybe a hat trick. Who knows?
Me-
Two penalties and a goal. Two penalties and a header.
Oh, that
But
that is what is even making this whole thing like forcing many people to take their wild cards. Like you cannot
no, you've
afford.
jumped the gun. You've jumped the gun.
Okay,
You've jumped
fine.
the gun.
Okay, fine.
Yeah?
Let me just say that the fixture is. What I'm just trying to get at is this fixture is too good
It's
to put.
mouth-watering. It's tantalizing.
It's too, this fixture is too good to turn a blind eye on. You cannot avoid this fixture for
Yeah.
sure. Mm.
Yeah, so,
And I
okay,
think
definitely.
Man United are up to the task. If I know
Yeah.
the West Ham game might be a bit not all sure, because West Ham are also trying to put up a front in this with their stats. Although they have conceded a couple of goals, but I know they're
Yeah.
also putting up a front in this season. So maybe
Yeah.
that Aston Villa game might also be a juicy fixture, but the juiciest is the
It's
Newcastle
the Newcastle
fixture.
one.
Yes.
Yeah, but then also remember last season, Man United actually struggled at home. They had a better away form. Actually, they had the
Yeah.
best away form in the league. I think even in the top 5 league. But then their home form was a bit wanting. So I guess this season, if they are to be considered serious title contenders, that's something I'm sure they're looking forward to improving. They're looking forward to working on and making sure that they get it right. So yeah, the stakes are quite high for this home fixture, and I don't know. I don't think we can. What's the word? Resist. The allure of having Cristiano for this fixture, right?
Ronaldo. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that's Ronaldo. We've looked at Ronaldo, and I guess we've talked about every reason why we should buy Ronaldo. But then Ronaldo is not the only premium forward that we're looking at this season.
That's true.
And then so this brings the conversation for the other two premium forwards that are giving him competition in terms of being a selection in our teams. So we can jump to Mr. Romelu Lukaku, Mr. Chelsea man, as an option, for example, right?
Yes.
So this was also another big signing for this window.
That's true.
Lukaku coming back to Chelsea. And you already saw how he started against Arsenal. He picked up right where he left off. And it seems like he has something to prove. And of course, now with Cristiano being back in the league, I'm sure that will push some of these forwards to be even better, because they'll want to compete. They'll want their stats to compete with Cristiano. If Cristiano is up there with the goals, they want also their names to be up there with the
Up
goals.
there. Yeah.
And someone like Lukaku, I guess, unless Jorginho is in the pitch, I guess maybe he has the penalties in Chelsea. Not really much of a competition for him.
Yeah. So
what do you think? You, especially as a Chelsea fan, and you also own Lukaku. Actually, currently, you own Lukaku.
Yes, I currently own Lukaku in my FPL team, and it's giving me a lot of pressure. I don't know whether I should drop him for Cristiano Ronaldo or not. It's a lot to think through. I don't know how to think about it because it's been a headache. So for me, I think maybe I'm just a stats person. If we look at Lukaku's stats in the 2020-2021 season, he had shots in the box 2.92, which is not as high as Ronaldo's, which is 4.87. And his expected goals per 90 minutes was 0.559. Ronaldo's was 0.62.
And they were both plying their trade in the Serie A this time.
Yeah. So, and then his expected goals and assists are slightly higher than Ronaldo's, meaning he has a higher expected assists in the game compared to Ronaldo. Ronaldo is scoring more goals and probably giving less assists. So his expected goals and assists statistics per 90 minutes is a bit higher, 0.83. Ronaldo is 0.72. So for me, I think Lukaku also has a chance. And I will go with this both on the stats and also the fixtures that Chelsea have. So Chelsea have a pretty good run of fixtures. They are facing Aston Villa in this coming game week 4 this weekend. And then in game week 5, they are facing Tottenham. They have a bit of a challenging fixture. Yes?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to say in game week 6, they have Man City,
which is a bit of a challenge. But then from game week 7, they're facing Southampton, Brentford, and then Norwich. So for me, this one is, as an FPL player, are you playing a short-term game or a long-term game? For me, if you're playing a long-term game, Lukaku is a premium player you cannot afford to have. I mean, look at the fixtures. You cannot afford to miss in your FPL team. That's the thank you for that, Deno. So it's just a game of maybe what do you want? Are you playing the short-term game? Meaning you'd go for the juicy Man United fixtures or are you playing the long-term game, meaning you want to have a premium like Lukaku who will pay off in the long run because they have 2, Aston Villa, Tottenham. Then from game week 7, they have Southampton, Brentford, and Norwich. So that's how I'm looking at it.
You bring up a very interesting point because you can. Okay, we'll talk about strategy. I think as we're ending, some form of strategy. But I like how you're basically comparing these two players in terms of there's a run of fixtures perhaps that makes one more attractive than another. But then also we can also look at the possibility of owning both of them. Maybe
That's
someone
true.
can decide to sacrifice in their midfield and just own both of them.
Both of them.
You spare yourself the headache of picking one over the other. But then, we look at the general health of your squad. Will it be able to survive maybe a game week where both of them don't perform? And then you're left with perhaps skeletons all over the pitch, hoping that they will pick up your game week. But definitely very interesting talking points over there. I like the fixtures, the stats you pointed out. And the stats basically say that Cristiano is more lethal than Lukaku. When you look at his shots in the box, when you look at his shots per 90,
expected goals per 90.
He's definitely more lethal. Of course, Lukaku only comes in good in terms of the expected assists over Cristiano. But then a goal is always better than assist for a forward.
An assist, that is true.
So we want the forwards who are scoring, not the forwards who are assisting, right? Okay, so we've looked at the second option. Okay, and then also there's the small aspect of Lukaku picked up a knock in the international break, and I just saw the reports that he's gonna go in for a scan just to check him out and see how serious that is. Let's hope it's not too serious, but then that might affect also whether Lukaku can be an option to bring in right away, depending on what the scan reveals, right? So the last premium option, premium forward that we want to discuss and look at today, himself, Mr. Harry Class Kane. Of course, he decided to stick with Tottenham. I know.
He was the lead top scorer and the lead top assists in the
Yeah,
just concluded
I wanted,
season
I
2020
wanted to,
2021.
I actually wanted to highlight that. Of course,
Yeah.
now that we can call it Cristiano mania or Ronaldo mania has come in, we are almost forgetting. We are almost forgetting that Harry Kane is was statistically the most lethal player last season.
Last
Actually,
season.
actually, when you look at all top 5 leagues, he in terms of goals and assists, he outscored almost everyone. I think only Messi outscored him. In terms of both
Mm.
goals and assists, expected assists. So
Mm-hmm.
Kane is definitely another discussion altogether. Of course,
Yeah.
he's playing in a weaker Tottenham side when you compare to the kind of players that Cristiano is playing with over at Man United. And I don't know,
Mm.
Kane, we can almost say that last season he overperformed his expectations. Like he overperformed. So I don't know if he can be able to sustain those kind of statistics. I don't know if this is another season where he can, top scorer, top assister. Last season he was assisting 4 goals in a match. He was scoring 2 goals and assisting 2 goals in a single match. I
Mm.
don't know if he can be able
Mm.
to keep up those same numbers this season, considering, of course,
Okay.
the quality of the league has gone a bit higher in terms of when you look at the
Mm-hmm.
signings and all of that.
Mm.
So yeah,
Mm.
let's look at Harry Kane as also another option. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Harry Kane is also an option we cannot overlook. Just by the mere fact that last season he was the most lethal player in the
Yeah.
Premier League. He had the top goals and the most assists. For me, I think Harry Kane, maybe he just had a shaky start. That transfer window, are you leaving? Are you not leaving? Back and forth. So maybe there was that shakiness. But I think he already started in game week 3. He started against Watford,
Yeah.
and also now that we are going to game week 4, he's definitely going to start against Crystal Palace. And I
Yeah.
think when the league is the way it's looking to be tough, or how people are saying that they have the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, and they're definitely looking to be top goal scorers and top assists, Romelu Lukaku. I think Kane also has. We should not overlook him. I think he will still prove that he's a little player. I think that's the mere reason why one of the there was that transfer window debate of whether he leave to Man City or not. Maybe he wanted to go to quarter. And maybe not say that. Let me not quote about whether he wanted to leave because of whatever reasons he wanted to leave. But I think
Yeah.
Ken should not be overlooked. I think the he still has a good playing partner at Tottenham. I think Son and Kane are still a lethal combination and are
Yeah.
still incapable of scoring goals and also assisting in those goal scoring opportunities and chances that they create. I think Kane is the number one chance creator in those matches. And once there's a big chance created, be sure that 0.001 that chance will not turn into a goal. So I think Kane should not be overlooked. For me, I think the debate right now should be whether to own all the 3 premium forwards, or to go with the fixtures, or to own 2 of the 3 premium or what? I don't know, because
Yeah. Thank
it's
you.
is
Thank
a,
you for saying that, because I think now that brings us into the strategy aspect of, okay, basically what we have concluded is that out of these 3 players, we shouldn't perhaps look at one and overlook the other. So that almost says either we have the 3 of them, or we find a way to work with at least 2 of them,
Mhm.
in our teams. Of course, having
Yeah.
the 3 of them will be detrimental to the balance of your team.
Mm.
Detrimental in the sense that you'll put the 3 forwards, but then your defense will have to be all 4 million defenders, and your midfield will have to be all 5 million midfielders, possibly.
That's the thing. And I think we should
So
probably
that
look
you
at,
can afford
yeah.
the 3 of them. Hmm?
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, now probably that should even guide this conversation towards where we should play a wild card or what strategy people are employing.
Yeah,
Going by the statistics by now, we are seeing over 500,000 guys have already played their wild card. So you can see how serious this
activated.
thing is. Have
Yeah,
already activated their wild card. So, and this one, they activated it immediately. Ronaldo
yeah.
was signed
No,
in.
I'm definitely one of those managers who has activated their wildcard. Uh,
Okay, tell
and
us,
I'll
talk
tell
more
you,
about it.
yeah, and I'll tell you, we're talking strategy and how to balance these players. So there are things that affect, for example, our selection for these players. First of all, let's look at price, right?
That's true.
Ronaldo is priced at 12.5.
Mhm.
Um,
Lukaku is
Kane is priced at
11.5.
12.3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kane
And
is 12.3
Lukaku
and
is
Lukaku is 11.5.
zero point 0.5.
So
Mm.
so one thing we know is that, for example, if you have Cristiano, you can be able to afford Kane and Lukaku at some point in the game weeks, right? So, for
Yeah,
example,
you can
Ronaldo
downgrade
has a
one of
difficult
them.
fixture. Yeah, Ronaldo has a
Mm.
difficult fixture, and Kane has an easier fixture, a more favorable fixture, or Lukaku has a more favorable fixture. You can easily switch from Ronaldo to Kane or from Ronaldo to Lukaku, maybe for that one game week or those 2 game weeks, and then revert back when
Mm.
that works out. That can be one strategy, which allows
Yeah.
you to benefit when all these players are having favorable matches. Then you can be able to easily switch between one and the other.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that means you start off with Cristiano, and then that 12.5 million, whenever you switch to Lukaku, you'll have an extra 1 million, or when you
One
switch to
million.
Kane, you'll have an extra zero point 0.2 million. You don't
Yeah.
use that money elsewhere. So that once you're done with whoever you switch to, you can be able to switch back to Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So that
Mm.
is one strategy that can work for us, flipping through these players. For example, like you said, from game week 7 to what?
To game week 9. To game week
9.
9.
Lukaku has very amazing fixtures, right?
Fixtures. Mm.
Yeah, he's facing up against Southampton, Brentford,
Brentford
Norwich.
and Norwich.
Also, game week 10, he has Newcastle, and game week 11, he has Burnley. So those are like five
He has a
really
good
interesting.
run of
Yeah, those
fixtures.
are five really good run of fixtures. And when I
Mm.
compare that with Ronaldo's fixtures in game week from game week 7, he has Everton, then Leicester, then Liverpool, then Spurs, then Man City. The
It's,
exact opposite, you
yeah,
know.
pretty difficult
The
fixtures.
exact opposite. So Ronaldo is having a tough run of fixtures, 5 of them,
Mm.
but then Lukaku
Mm.
has a really nice run of fixtures, 5 of
A
them.
rainy
So
day.
that's an example of where you start off with Ronaldo, and then when it comes to that game week 7, maybe game week 7, you switch to Lukaku and you hold on to Lukaku for the next 5 game weeks or so,
Mm.
and you have a
Mm.
nice balance on your squad. And the beauty of that is you don't have to sacrifice on the other aspects of your squad. Your squad remains balanced because you're only spreading your 12.5 million across these 3 players, as opposed to owning
Mm.
all of them and suffering in terms of the other aspects of your squad. So
Mm.
I think for me, that is the strategy that I'm thinking that I will probably employ. So the reason why
Okay.
I've used the wild card is so that I can be able to balance out my squad nicely, so that even as
Mm.
I'm switching these players between each other, I'm able to have a pretty competitive foundation of my squad every other area. In terms of
Yeah.
defense, I don't need
Mm.
to take hits so that I can bring out one player and bring it another. I can have like a stable squad and then build basically based on those alterations or those
Mm.
switches as we go. So you, for example, you already own Lukaku. It sounded like you have not yet devised a strategy on how to go about it. Maybe I've helped you with an idea or two. What's your position?
Okay, my position is I have drafts. I have wildcard drafts that I have made. I just need to decide whether I'm activating that wildcard or I take a hit to bring in Ronaldo. That's just my strategy. Like, do I really need to activate my
Yeah.
wildcard right now, or I can
Yeah.
postpone and activate it at game week 7 or game week
No.
8? You get what I'm
No.
saying? So
Yeah.
that's just my thinking right now. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm still, but I have my draft just in case I think
Just in
I
case you
want
decide.
to decide to I want to activate my wildcard. But I totally
Okay.
agree with what you're saying. People should see whether they want to play a long-term game or a short-term game, depending
Yeah.
on the fixtures and the statistics you have of your players in your
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
But for the sake of progress in our teams, you should have your eye on both realities. You should have your eye on the short term as well as on the long term. So
Long
that you
term.
don't find yourself, because when you plan too much on the long term, you might lose in the short
On
term,
the good
which
short-term
yeah,
fixtures.
which really counts a great deal. So I think
Mm.
striking that balance is what is required.
Yeah.
The other conversation is, so for example, we have the premium midfielders, the two of them, Mohamed Salah and Bruno Fernandes, right? And as it stands, for example, owning a Cristiano Ronaldo and a Lukaku and a Kane, or maybe owning two of these premium forwards, means you lose out. Owning one or two of them actually means you'll either lose out on Bruno or Salah. Remember, the 3 game weeks that have already passed, in the template of most managers in their teams, most of us have both Salah
Bruno
and
and
Bruno.
Salah.
Then, as well as now we had the mid-range forwards of Mikel Antonio, Danny Ings, Calvert Lewin. Those were the mid-range forwards who are sort of keeping us afloat, and
Jamie
they came in
Vardy.
good.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
came in good with the points, but then now the premium forwards are coming into the frame, and that means we are having to sacrifice. So between Bruno Fernandes and Mo Salah, who ideally should be sacrificed, or who is more sacrificable?
Oh my
Because
god.
the other thing is that these two players will punish us.
That's true.
A time will come where either one of these two players or both of them will punish
Will
us.
punish.
So game
Yeah.
week 1 was a good example where one got a hat trick, 20 points, another got 2 goals and an assist, 17 points. And of course, both of them getting the 3 bonus points. And that shows you just what they are capable of. Last season, Bruno Fernandes, I think, was the second highest scoring player after Harry Kane, possibly. But seasons running, Salah has been the highest scoring player in the FPL at the end of the season. So I don't know.
I think Bruno Fernandes was the highest scoring player in FPL. I'm not sure about that,
Yeah,
but maybe. Yeah.
yeah,
But
he's
what
definitely
what
top
I
two.
agree,
He's definitely top 2.
yeah, I agree with you when you say that these players will punish us when
Yeah,
you take them out. I'm just saying Bruno Fernandes is lethal in his own right. Salah
yeah.
is equally lethal in his own right. So for me here, I am not even going to try and advise anyone on what to do. I'm not even going to try and advise anyone on what to do. But I'll just say, if I was asked to decide, like now I
Yeah,
was put on an ultimatum,
yeah.
I'd rather
Gun to your
go
head.
with Salah. I'd rather go with Salah than Bruno Fernandes. I'd
Wow.
rather stick to Salah. Maybe that's what I would say. But yeah, maybe you can say I have Cristiano Ronaldo, then I can sacrifice Bruno Fernandes and have Salah in my team. But for me, I think Salah is likely to punish people more
Yeah.
than
No, both.
and Bruno
Actually, both.
Fernandes. Both of them are
Actually, both.
actually
Actually, both.
it's really tough. But for
Actually,
me,
both.
I'd
Let me
rather
tell you. Yeah.
have Salah. I'd rather have Salah in my team. Yeah.
The thing that is making Bruno a worthy sacrifice is the fact that, of course, you are sacrificing Bruno for Cristiano. So, of course,
Yes.
if Bruno has a good game, we are more or less banking on the fact that Ronaldo will have a good game.
Have a good game. Yes.
Yeah, and we are yet to be proven right or wrong, but that's what we are banking on. We are assuming that if Bruno is playing well, Ronaldo is definitely benefiting.
That's true. Yes.
And that sort of cushions the blow of not having Fernandes,
Bruno, yeah.
But then you see for Salah, there isn't that kind of replacement, because
For
we know that
cushioning.
there's no cushioning. Of course, you can say maybe Diego Jota or Sadio Mane, but they don't quite measure up. Diego Jota can come in with the goal or perhaps even a brace every so often, but he can't be as consistent, or he's yet to show whether he can be as consistent as Salah has proven to
As
be.
Salah. Yes.
And of course, Salah is on the penalties in Liverpool. That
I think
is
that's what
without
makes him
any
a better
contention.
option. I think that conversation is coming in because now we
Yeah.
are saying on Liverpool, Salah has the penalties. Here in Man United, we are still thinking, is it
Yeah,
Ronaldo? Is
it's
it
still
Bruno?
between. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there was a way, we could own like Salah, Bruno, and Ronaldo. Now that we have those wild cards to try that around, maybe that's maybe that's something to try out and see how that can work out.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, basically that's the dilemma or the conundrum that we, as well as every other FPL manager, is currently going
Millions
through.
of managers out here.
Yeah,
Facing.
remember, game week 4 is fast approaching, so we don't have all the time to decide. At this point, at the time of recording, we have only 3 more days to decide 3 or 4 more days to decide what we're going to go with. So unfortunately, our indecision is time bound. So at some point, you'll have to make a decision. And live with it.
That's true.
Yeah, so basically that's it. But let's look at some of these players. Let's give them time, especially now game week 4. Let's see how Ronaldo comes in. Let's see how Ronaldo affects Bruno Fernandes in the pitch, and maybe that can shape some of our decisions going forward.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
totally agree. And just to say, as I said last time, let's just continue being sober. I know there are a lot of emotional decisions about to be made in this game week, but look at it and be strategic. Remember our 10 commandments of FPL that do not make impulsive decisions, do not make transfers impulsively, do not even play this wild card because over 500,000 guys have played their wild card. Just be strategic. Remember the game plan that you had and stick to it. Yeah.
Okay, all those are key pointers for sure. Let's see. Of course, we'll be here with you on Thursday as we are doing the preview for game week 4.
Game week.
Yeah, and that will be more interesting because I think we will have made some concrete decisions with regards to how our team is shaping up for game week 4 and onwards, as well as the guests that we'll be able to have, possibly Mark or any other that we'll be able to have join us for the session. So let's look forward to that. I'm sure it will be an interesting one. I think we can have a minute where we can look at some of the comments, see what guys are saying about this conundrum.
For sure.
Yes. We have our very own ideal guy joining us right there in the comment. But I have a feeling Ronaldo will demand
penalties.
I don't know. Okay, I guess his stature as a player might be the demand therein, or maybe Bruno might feel. Remember, they are countrymen, right? They both are Portuguese players, so Bruno might feel like, no, this guy is my senior. This guy is my legend. There's no way I can take a penalty and he's here.
He's there.
Bruno might decide. Yeah, Bruno might decide. Hey, me, as long as Ronaldo is here, don't give me a penalty, or something out of respect, So that definitely can play a part. And if Ronaldo is on penalties, then Ronaldo is definitely a better option than Bruno. Maybe you can read that comment for us.
Fat Z is saying Tierney plus Cody or Semedo plus White. I think this one is probably trying to talk to. Are you playing a wild card or
possibly? But then when you look at the fixtures, Remember, Wolves have like a really good run of fixtures for the next
That's
game
true.
weeks, 3 or
That's
4
true.
game
Actually,
weeks. Yeah. So a lot of Wolves
Wolves have a really good fixture. Maybe if I can just read them out. They are facing Watford in game week 4, then
yeah,
Brentford, then Southampton, then Newcastle, then Aston Villa. Then now in
yeah,
game week 9, they face off
yeah,
Leeds. They have a really good run of fixtures.
that's
And I
actually
probably
maybe
would
four
agree.
greens. That's 4 greens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the balance there is Tierney plus Cody, or it was Tierney plus
Or,
Cody or
or Semedo
Semedo
plus
plus Ben White.
White.
So
Yeah.
in terms of money, I think Tierney and Cody is a more expensive combination than Semedo and Ben White.
Yeah, I think
I
so
think
too.
so.
But yeah.
Let me just confirm because
I think Semedo is 4.9. I think Cody is 5 million or 5 point something.
Tierney is
Yeah.
4.9.
Semedo is equally 4.9.
Semedo is also 4.9.
Cody is 5 million, I think. 5 million or 5 million point something. Yeah. But
No,
if I was
actually, Cody
asked,
is cheaper. Cody is 4.5.
Cody is 4.5.
Yeah, Cody is
Okay, wow.
4.5. And Ben White is 4.4. So it's actually a difference
Okay.
of 0.1. The difference is
Point
0.1
one.
million. Yeah. But for me, I think before we go to that one, just to answer the Tierney Cody or Semedo Ben White, for me, I think I'd probably go for Semedo Ben White.
That's true.
Because
I would say the same thing.
yeah, but then Tierney is a very attacking fullback. He's a very attacking option in that Arsenal midfield. He's likely to produce assists, but then also Semedo is also quite attacking. The reason I like Ben White over Cody is I feel like Ben White has maybe some goal threat in terms of headers, in terms of shots, in terms of his threaded ball can produce. He's good at progressing the ball, so he can produce an assist. You saw like the likes of Varane. Varane came in with an assist, just a nice pass into Greenwood, as well as Van Dijk had an assist the other day. Ben White is in the mold of some of these defenders where he can come in with an assist or a goal. So I feel like Ben White Semedo can be a better combination. So let me read
Okay.
this one from Anshunman Pandey saying, should I take a -8 hit to get Ronaldo and Torres for Bruno and Ings, or should I wildcard?
Wait
I
a
think this
minute.
depends.
Did I read that right? Should I get a -8 for Ronaldo? Okay, so he's taking out Bruno and Ings. Okay,
to bring
go
in
ahead.
Torres and Ronaldo.
To bring in Torres and Ronaldo. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this just depends on the balance of your squad. The reason why wildcard is an option, especially for me, let me speak for myself. The reason why wildcard is an option is because I want to make sure my squad is balanced, right? And remember, a -8 hit is actually a very big hit.
That's true.
It's actually a very big hit, which you don't have a guarantee whether you're going to come back from a -8 hit, So it's a gamble. And remember, when you take a -8, wait at -8. When you take a -8 and bring in Ronaldo, remember, everyone else is bringing in Ronaldo. So then you don't have an advantage. So perhaps
That's
those
true.
who wildcarded to bring in a Ronaldo have an advantage over you
Advantage
because
over
you
you.
took a -8, and that was Ronaldo and Ferran Torres. So I don't know. I feel like it depends on the balance of your squad. If the rest of your squad is really nicely balanced in a way that you only need, those two adjustments, maybe it's a risk you can take. Of course, it's an advantage having your wild card to play maybe later, but then maybe you might have some short-term effects. You might suffer in the short term, in the like of while your team is suffering the -8, maybe other people's team will or maybe your position in your mini league will be affected by that -8.
The ranking.
Your ranking will be affected by that -8. But then one of our rules, one of our 10 commandments is to avoid hits as much
As much
possible.
as you can.
Hits
Maybe
are
even
not
that
your friend.
the Torres thinking should be guided by whether KDB will be back fit or not. And Pep Role. I think at this point, I think Ferran Torres was starting because I think KDB was out on a small injury, I think.
Yeah. But then also Ferran is playing as a false nine, which is a position that I think he's being molded into a false nine. But then remember, Raheem Sterling played false nine for the bigger chunk of last season. Like you said, Pep Roulé. I think Pep Guardiola has a lot of players at his disposal, and he can decide to switch things up. And your -8 for Ferran Torres lands you flat-faced, in the mud. So I don't know. I feel like -8 is not the way to go.
Maybe you should just wild card.
Maybe -4. The most you should do is -4. If you can't work with a -4, just leave it as it is.
Or wild card, as you were saying.
Okay, so basically that's it for our show. I don't know if you have any parting shots, anything you'd like to add, Queen V?
For me, I think I just want to ask our people who are watching in, who are streaming in live, please remember to subscribe to our channel, Fantasy Football Zone. Like this video, share. Invite your friends to come and comment. Join our league, the Fantasy Football Zone. I think our league code is on our description box. Join our league. We want to have as many people in our league, and if you want to be part of this show, just drop us a DM on our Instagram page at Official Zone, and we will reach out to you, and we will love to have as many as we can during these 38 game weeks on our show. So thanks for tuning in this evening, and see you on Thursday.
Wow, your parting shot is everyone's parting shot. I have nothing to add to that. But I can just emphasize, guys, we really want to be able to host you guys on our show. So if you are passionate about FPL and football in general, and you would like to, contribute to this great FPL conversation, you can just drop us even in our comment section or any of our social medias. You can reach out to us, and then we'll be able to link up with you, and we can definitely have you on the next episode of Fantasy Football Zone. So thank you so much for taking the time. Looking forward to Game Week 4. We will do another stream on Thursday, the Game Week 4 preview show, where we look at the fixtures for Game Week 4 and maybe some of the differential options, captain options, and all that. See you then.
Peace.
Wonderful.